How's everything going, guys? Welcome to another video here. I am Guenter. Welcome to another Scott the Woz video. I didn't expect Scott the Woz to upload so soon. I thought he wasn't going to be uploading for another couple of weeks, maybe doing a Halloween one. But instead he's doing this video here on game prices. So today we're going to be watching this video today. This is the first Scott the Woz video I've done in a while. If you guys don't know, until January this year I actually uploaded, I think I did about nearly about 80% of his content, and I deleted all of them and basically started again. I've been branching out doing other channels, mainly Nostalgia Critic. So today we're going to be doing Scott's video on game prices. So the big thing recently when it comes to video game prices is that everything's getting more expensive. Like for example, Game Pass. Americans kicking off because Game Pass is going up. Game Pass is going up from $19.99 to $29.99. Well, the ultimate one anyway. Guys, here in the UK, it is $23.99 a month. That's $34 a month. Our Game Pass Ultimate's more expensive than yours. Our game prices are more expensive than yours as well. For example, a £69.99 game, which is normal price, $69.99 or £70, is about 94 bucks. So our games are $94, it's like $94 per game. And if you include Mario Kart World, which is $74.99 here in the UK, Mario Kart World is just over 100 bucks. It's like $100 and 30 odd cents. So yeah, we're gonna watch this video here on Scott. If you guys are wondering, the other content that I have planned for this week, they've all been pushed along. Originally today I was going to upload another episode of Just Bad Games Re-Res, Still Harbinger. That's now going to be on Saturday. And then a Try Not to Laugh challenge, which I was going to put on Saturday, is now going to be on Tuesday. So everything's been pushed along because of Scott uploading. So, should we get on this video here, guys? Oh, congratulations Scott, by the way. I've just noticed in the bottom corner, he's now hit 2 million subscribers. 2 million subs. Well done, Scott. So, should we get on with the video, guys? It's a 33-minute video on basic video game prices. So, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Hey y'all, Scott here. This is money.
That music's playing in the background. Why does that sound familiar? Huh. Oh, sorry, I just got distracted. Just noticed one of my fans, the screw, and it looks like it's been stripped back. Yeah, so that music's playing. I'm pretty sure that was Twilight Princess, or it was a Zelda game anyway.
This is a video game. How much is a video game worth to you? Not $60, but I'll let you draw stuff on my face for one. This is $80. Oh God, I need to up the ante, don't I? Okay, I'll let you shoot me too.
Yeah, like I said, he said Mario Kart World for you guys in America is $80. Here in the UK, it's 100.
The price of video games has always been a hot debate, primarily because these are wants, not needs. That I say, why is my blood type Luigi's Mansion 2 HD? Hey, there's lots of ways to entertain yourself at affordable prices, hell, even free. What makes you so special? Well, funnily enough, looking throughout gaming history, we can see these prices aren't anything new. They're a bargain. 70 for NBA Hang Time on Super Nintendo. 75 for Mortal Kombat Trilogy on Nintendo 64.
Don't forget, Mortal Kombat Trilogy, that's $74.99 in 1996. So that's probably close to 100 now.
100 for Virtual Racing on Sega Genesis. The question here isn't, are these games worth it?
Yeah, the reason why Virtual Racing was so expensive was because of the chip that was inside it. Also, same with Phantasy Star 4 End of the Millennium. That game was over $100 because it was such a big game. It used so much memory and storage that that game had to be $100 as well.
The question is, are you worth them? But see, there's gotta be a method to the madness. Why video games are priced the way they are. Because something like this don't just happen on accident. Oh, Butterfingers. I've always seen big boy console games hovering around a $50 to $80 price point. 60 being the standard during the 6th generation.
Yeah, here in the UK, it was never like here in the UK. In that generation, it was $39.99, but Game Station, when that was open at the time, they used to knock £2 off. It used to be $37.99, and then if it was a budget title, it was $19.99.
60 during the 7th and 8th, and 70 and 80 during the 9th. Now, there's been some oddball stipulations with these prices.
Oh, is that in
For
there?
example, it seems that the move to HD consoles warranted the jump to $60, because while the Xbox 360 and PS3 priced their games as such, the Wii, not being in HD, stuck to $50 games. But then with the jump to Wii U, now that we're in HD, boom, $60. So this is definitively what a AAA video game in HD costs. Write that down.
Righto. That statement will be proven false later.
Going from something like PS3 to PS4, game prices stayed the same, even for titles that were cross-generation. The PS3 version of Little Big Planet 3, $59.99. The PS4 version, same price, though it ran at 1080p, had faster load times. They offered this Day 1 edition with DLC included for no extra cost. It seems that oftentimes, the improvements included in the PS4 versions, they were considered par for the course. Hey, HD video games may cost $60, but you're playing on more modern and expensive hardware.
Yeah, you look at the cleanup between 360 and Xbox One. Look at the cleanup.
Yeah, the games both cost the same, but it only makes sense for this version to be the better value. However, once we moved from PS4 to PS5, this was where we received another price jump, but seemingly only for exclusive PS5 software. Games that had PS4 versions were $60 at most, but here we have Demon's Souls, a PS5 exclusive launch title, at $70. Didn't matter that it was a remake of a PS3 game with barely any content added. The remake is PS5 exclusive, so it's getting PS5 exclusive pricing. So what, HD games are $60?
Pick up the 40 gig data.
Come on.
The PS5 can more easily do 4K, I guess that warrants $70. But if a PS5 game is also on PS4, it stays at $60. However, Sony switched up their policy. We got a few PS4, PS5 games from them where the PS4 version is $60 and the PS5 one is $70.
But if you pay for the PS5 one, you get the PS4 version included.
You can play the PS4 version on your PS5, so that's an easy way to save 10 bones. But think about what you're missing out on by not spending that extra dough.
Oh my god, I'm missing out on getting rid of this fucking thing.
That's why if you have the last generation version, you can purchase its PS5 upgrade for a measly 10 bones. Now, what do you get for that?
All you basically get. By the way, I've got the original. I've not played Ragnarok yet. I do have the original God of War, the 2016 one. Got that on Steam. I really need to get through it. My wife wanted to play it. My wife got about 3 hours in and she stopped playing. I said, "Why did you stop playing it?" She went, "It's fucking boring." My wife found God of War boring. This is the same woman who thinks Animal Crossing's boring. So she thinks it's too slow. But yeah, one of her favourite games of all time is Red Dead Redemption 2, which has got one of the slowest openings in gaming history. Just, yeah.
Can you see it?
Oh, yeah, well, the PS4 version over there looked...
Huh? It's actually the PS5 version?
I'll just chalk it up to me being insane. I am talking to nobody after all.
Yes, there is a difference, but why do I have to pay for this upgrade when numerous PS4 games like God of War from 2018 got a PS5 update free of charge? That added the same exact kind of performance bumps that's costing me $10 whole with its sequel. And you know, while the enhancements on PS5...
The main reason why game prices have gone up is this is what I've been told. It's because everything else has gone up. Like for example, the cost of over the studios, like energy prices, running a game studio, energy prices. I bet their energy prices through the roof. Like just someone living at home, my gas and electric price, my power bill's gone up by about 30%. That's probably another reason why games have gone up. It's and also tariffs and all that lot. Everything else has just bumped everything up.
5 are very welcome and make for a more enjoyable experience with smoother gameplay, a more stable frame rate. It's not like the PS4 version runs poorly, hell, especially if you're playing it on the PS.
I'm pretty sure he's playing Starlight Zone from Sonic 1.
PS5 through backwards compatibility. I feel like we were getting bigger jumps with the previous consoles, yet we weren't.
No, he's not. It sounds similar, though.
Paying extra like we are here. But I guess there's just this golden rule that games from this era of console cannot be $70. Unless you want to fuck around a little bit. So Activision was able to weasel $70 games onto the PS4 by bundling the $10 upgrade to the PS5 version in as a mandatory inclusion. Doesn't matter if you don't own a PS5, you're getting a PS5 game whether you like it or not. So,
I know why Sony. Who owns Activision? Microsoft. It's basically a Microsoft tax. That's all that is. That's a Microsoft tax. Oh, by the way, if you're not playing Call of Duty in Game Pass or on Xbox, you're paying an extra $10.
Seems like the only method these companies have to price games above that $60 price point on these last generation consoles is to create bundles. As long as the base package is at most $60, even if that base package isn't available for purchase, it's all good. Just don't even think about pricing a standalone game higher than that on these consoles. But Scott, you squeal, what if you stop giving a shit?
Oh, okay, under those circumstances, sure.
Nintendo Switch games priced at $70. Even when the max game price for the majority of the console's life was $60, in 2023, I discovered anything is possible.
The reason why physical games on Switch are more expensive is because they're charging you for the packaging and for the actual game cart. Because to produce game carts is actually quite expensive. So that's how they're getting around it. So they're basically saying, oh, it's costing us more money to pay this game carts. Alright, the consumer can pay. They can pay 70.
Even bullshit. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom was priced the exact same as all these big PS5 and Xbox Series X games, even when it was running on hardware most comparable to... give me a second. Alright, now, keep in mind, it's not that I don't think Tears of the Kingdom itself isn't worth $70. Rather, up until this point, price points...
Why has he put this in? Quick, I need some V-roll. Scott, just run around looking at your road near your house.
Of most traditional video games seem to be dictated by the hardware was on, not the game itself.
It's comparable to that.
Like, was Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart on PS5 truly worth $70 compared to all these games that were $60 just because they were on a console where that was the standard? Nintendo stated they based the prices of their games on a case-by-case basis. The case here being, can we get away with this? With Tears of the Kingdom, I mean, it made sense. Clocked in at 16 gigabytes tall, meaning they had to use a mighty expensive 32 gigabyte game card to house it all. Didn't stop The Witcher 3 from being a flat 60, even though it used a 32 gig card too. But Tears of the Kingdom is a new game.
Scott's just put a hole in my logic what I've just said. Fuck!
Massive game, one that reuses loads of content and assets from Breath of the Wild, a $60 game designed for a console from 2012 whose hardware is most similar to a console from 2005.
Damn, they should be paying me to buy this.
Alright, let's be fair. Did the enjoyment I got out of this game justify...
What I said there, I reckon the problem is what I just said. Which is, I reckon the main reason why game prices have gone up is because corporate greed. It's basically it's a combination of corporate greed and also everything else has gone up, like power bill, tariffs, delivery, that kind of stuff. Also, probably as well, they're probably having to pay their developers a lot more money, because I know a lot of developers have been losing their jobs recently because some of them want fucking massive pay. So how can I say it? Because everything's gone up, most developers now are probably asking for more money in general. And now that they're asking for more money, they're like, oh shit, what we're going to do? We're going to start charging more for our game so we can recoup some costs back.
By the price tag? I would undoubtedly say yes. The fact of the matter is, this was a special situation. You can argue...
I actually own a Nintendo Switch. I've got one right there, right? I haven't got any Joy-Cons with it. All I've got is a regular controller. I could hook it up to this TV, right? I still do... after 7 years, actually 8 years... I still do not own Breath of the Wild, and I still don't own Tears of the Kingdom, because I'm such a tight fist to get. I actually worked this out. Sorry for going on a bit of a tangent. I've only spent more than £40 on one game in about 8 years, and it was Stellar Blade for Steam. That cost me 43. When it comes to games, ever since I become a PC gamer, I am such a fucking tight-fisted fucker when it comes to buying games. I think if you go more than £30, I think I've only spent more than £30 about 4 times in 5 years. I think it's 5 times. WWE 2K23, WWE 2K25, Stellar Blade, TEW9 because that was 32, and Pokemon Violet. Those 5. They're the only 5 games where I've spent more than 30 on. That's how tight-fisted I am. Every other game I've bought has been basically £20 or less. Every other one. Like, my last game purchase I got was... God, what did my wife buy me? No, actually, if you do include my wife bought Phasmophobia, and that only cost 16. My last game purchase was... Oh, what game did I buy? I didn't remember the price. It was about £4. It was about £4.50. So, yeah.
You it all you want, but Tears of the Kingdom could probably be considered the peak of what Nintendo Switch was capable of in terms of a game's scope. This was an impressive title, even by the standards of far more powerful consoles. If any Nintendo Switch game deserved to be $70, Mortal Kombat 1. This game didn't even release on PS4 or Xbox One. They probably considered the Nintendo Switch to be a current generation console, and thus its price point reflected that. And nothing else did. I'm confused, because the publisher Warner Brothers released Hogwarts Legacy, like their biggest release ever, on PS5 for $70 and Nintendo Switch for $60. Why do this with just Mortal Kombat? What is it, because
Yeah, Hogwarts Legacy, I've got the Steam version. Yeah, I waited for a price drop. I bought it I think it was about 1.5 2 years ago, and I paid 18 for it. Right now, you can go on CD Keys and you can pick it up for like £11. It's fucking dirt cheap.
Hogwarts got a PS4 version? So, let me get this straight. This is at the same level as that, even when... It obviously isn't, but this is where the line is drawn, where the quality is too damn high to continue to suffer warranting a $60 price point. See, I almost respect this more. Like, what is there to argue? It's just fucking stupid. Okay, after all that, let's take everything we've learned and try to answer this. What makes a game 70? Son of a bitch, they're 80 now. With the release of Mario Kart World on Nintendo Switch 2, $80 became the standard for cream of the crop gaming. Now I don't think there's any pitter-pattering around these video game price points anymore. Some publishers realized, what's genuinely stopping us from charging whatever we want? You want to charge $80 for your game? Do it. Nintendo's reason for why Mario Kart is $80? 'Cause it's worth it. Well, you think they have some math equation to show you explaining themselves?
I just typed in Mario Kart World. And, yeah, here in the UK it's $74.99, but literally the first page I get, I've got it on sale right now. Instead of £75, they're charging $60. They're charging $60 for Mario Kart World. Literally, that's the first page that came up of Mario Kart stuff. That's fucking, yeah. So here in the UK, they charge $74.99 for Mario Kart, which like I said to you earlier on, it's $100. But it's some places are now selling. I've got it on sale right now for $60, which is a better price.
All right. That makes sense now. Thank God you understand gibberish.
What we just went through here showcases the game industry's everlasting struggle to warrant higher price points, until eventually realizing, who cares? Now, am I enraged at the jump to $80? Will I boycott publishers not sticking to an agreed upon maximum price point? Now, respectfully, who the f*** am I to do any of that?
I'm awful.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this at all, but why are we acting like purchasing a video game for children is making some sort of statement? Either you think it's worth it or you don't. It's not
Yeah, because he's just shown the Outer Worlds then. Basically what happens, if you didn't know what happened, guys, the Outer Worlds Microsoft originally planned to change it, make Outer Worlds an £80 game. An £80 game. And they actually changed it last minute. It's now a $70 game and now part of Game Pass. I'm actually contemplating getting Game Pass back, because I know people have been complaining, well, that's it. I play on PC. PC Game Pass is literally only $13.50. £13.50 a month. And I get everything that the console players get, because I mainly play on PC, so I don't need the console side. I even said I'd pay £20 a month for Game Pass for PC one anyway, because it's like a normal game's what, £70, so I need to play a new game every 3 months to make it worth it, and I pretty much do. Like, I think I've spent maybe about £140 on Game Pass, and I've probably played about 200 quid's worth of games. That's in the last year, so that doesn't include any indie titles and stuff like that. And I've played some like smaller titles, like older titles on there as well. Like at Evil West, I think is a great little game. They're actually re-adding that back to Game Pass in about a week. So if you want to play a decent little game like that, I'd recommend Evil West.
Deep. Everybody's perception of value is different. Nobody's right or wrong. You don't need to buy that toy on the shelf, but if you refuse, you're not better than anybody who doesn't. Well, you think the guy who's judging anybody who bought Mario Kart World and all those internet comment sections is like a cool guy?
Scott hates Breath of the Wild. That was his name. Fuck's sake, Scott.
Damn, Golden Grams are stickier than they were last week.
What, so I bet if I look at all the crap you buy, it'll all check out. Everything will make perfect financial sense. Now, does that mean you're off the hook if you defend Nintendo's pricing here? Buddy, what is there to defend? Oh, I gotta stick it up for the multi-billion-dollar company.
Yeah.
They need my help.
I will lick this for them.
Okay, what I'm saying is, let's not judge the people not buying or buying games at these prices. Let's judge the companies setting them. Because judging each and every person for buying something that you personally wouldn't.
Did he just show fucking Rake on earbuds?
We'll be here all damn day.
Why?
I personally think the only time you should shit on somebody directly due to whether they're buying this stuff or not is if they're being an ass about it. If they aren't, and they just bought this game because they wanted to play it, or they refuse because they don't agree with the price, well, who the hell are you to tell them how to spend their money? How is any of this productive? They already bought the thing, or they've already told you they don't agree with buying the thing. Why the hell do you care if they buy it or not? Focus on yourself, Bubba. Why are you defending Nintendo so much? That splotch on your arm has been there for weeks.
Yeah, because the problem is most people are like, oh, if I defend Nintendo, I can get a job at Nintendo. No, you fucking won't. They don't care. Most major game companies only care about one thing. When you walk around, all they see is dollar signs. You're just a walking fucking wallet.
Get off the computer and go to the damn doctor. But listen, just because some games get priced like this doesn't mean this works as the standard moving forward. What, are you really gonna take a risk on an unproven entity when it costs that much? And you can only really charge $80 or above for a game franchise that's a known quantity with high demand. But even then, this price point isn't a sign of quality. It's more so a sign of greed. Like they...
By the way, that's Outer Worlds 1, by the way. That's not number 2. Number 1's not out yet. Number 1's out in about, was it 2 weeks? 2.5 weeks. I can't wait for number 2 to come out. I'm definitely going to play it, definitely. I might not be able to get to play it straight away, though, because I'm too busy streaming other stuff at the moment. I'm streaming on my Twitch channel. Also, my wife's got a Twitch, if you guys are wondering. It's all in the description below, by the way. I'm still going through Bloody Stellar Blade. I'm about 22. No, hang on. I've done 8 streams, but one of them's only 2 hours, so that's 8 times. I've done about 23 hours. That's what I've clocked so far.
Can do this, so they will do this. For example, Microsoft attempted the move to $80 games with The Outer Worlds 2, citing market conditions and rising development costs, only to go, just kidding, months later. So you acted like this price tag was 100% necessary, and when nobody was buying it, you cited market conditions again and went back to $70 games, which mind you, many already feel is too high. This just tells me these higher price points aren't as necessary as these companies would like you to believe. But I think...
Honestly, guys, I'm really excited for it. I'm actually quite excited for Outer Worlds 2. I enjoyed the first one. I actually own the first one. I've actually got the first one twice. I own the original and I own the Spacious Choice version, which is basically the next generation upgrade. I own both. Yeah, it's a fucking great game.
What's most annoying is, on top of all these price increases, many of these games are more monetized than ever before. 4. More microtransactions, loot boxes, advertisements, doing dear god anything but paying the actual developers of these games more, all being printed on a physical video game that don't include a damn thing on the disc.
Modern gaming. Yeah, prices keep going up, and oftentimes there's no
Hi, Springyard.
particular reason for that happening other than the desire to make more money. Which we can't blame them for that. Everybody wants to make more money. How else would I be able to do what I love most? And of course, the economy. Oh, that son of a bitch, he ruins everything. My dad lost his job. My aunt's house has been foreclosed.
What he's just said there, my dad lost his job. Yeah, my dad literally just, my dad 3 weeks ago had to leave his job as a joiner after being qualified for 44 years because because no one's got any money to afford anything. My dad's now forced to work in the fish factories. He's been at one of the local, one of the fish factories back where they live, for about 2 weeks now. And he's not the only one. I know a couple of other people being let go. Like in a small town that I live in a little market town, and the amount of companies and stores that have closed just in the last 6 months, we've lost. Not to be specific, we had a video game arcade here called Arcade Warehouse. You go there, play arcades, you know what I mean, have some fun. They've literally announced last week that they've had to close up. 2 of the local cafes have closed up. One of the banks has closed up where I live. And to replace it, all we've had to replace it is a very expensive Italian cafe and a cinema. Not an Italian restaurant. That's it. That's all we've had. It used to be another type of restaurant. That survived for 3 years, got bought out. Now this one's been around for about 6 months, and not once have I seen anyone go in there. Give it another 6 to 12 months, that'll probably be gone. Yeah, the economy right now, especially in the UK, is fucking dying. Like, growth is down, taxes are up, unemployment's up. Like, I'm on welfare. I'm on unemployment benefits because of what happened at my last job, and the fact of I have autism. I'm autistic, and I get depression very easy. I get overwhelmed very easily. So basically, because I get overwhelmed so easily, I find job working very hard. So basically, me getting a job now is even more difficult as well because of what happened at my previous job. And also, I have my son 2-3 days a week on top of that. And because I'm not fully flexible, I can't get a job. Like, I was told the other day to apply for a job at one of the coffee shops near me. I literally applied there 3 weeks ago and they rejected me like that. So what's the point of me applying again? It's been 3 weeks. They'll just reject me again. It'd be a waste of time. So, anyway, sorry for that tangent.
Cousin's been psychologically tormented by all these money issues, and Mario Kart World is $80? Jesus, just why can't we live in the era of gaming where all of this wasn't an issue, when it was about the games, man? Not leaving the sink on at Target.
Cashier sold me this game for $80. This'll teach him.
Yes, games have always been expensive, but they've never been this bad. Right?
Oh yeah! Rock Band used to be like over 100 back in the day. Oh, Rock Band and Guitar Hero. My mate bought it. I think my mate still got the set. He's had it for about 15 years, and he's still got the set.
Well, I don't see what the problem is. I did get more for that absurd price. Plastic garbage and shit in my pants.
Including crap has always been an excellent excuse to charge more. Oh, what? This isn't worth it? How about now? Let's take a look at the Guitar Hero and Rock Band era, when these games were taking over the world. Sure, the first few releases were more expensive than your average standalone video game at $70 on the PlayStation 2, but this was such a unique, innovative thing at the time that you can definitely understand it. Now fast forward a few years and we have Guitar Hero World Tour with just the guitar controller at $100. Now, let's keep in mind, this guitar is completely wireless. So, I think a higher price point is fair enough. Plus, Xbox 360 and PS3 games were normally $60, including this one, as it was available standalone if you already had a compatible guitar controller. However, the idea of a Guitar Hero game without any controller included being valued at the same price as every other AAA release is absurd. Sure, you can play Guitar Hero with a regular-ass gamepad, but is it worth the looks on the street you're gonna get? Oh man, everybody's looking at me like I'm a freak.
Damn controller!
Well, hey, at least the Wii release was $50 standalone, but the guitar bundle was still $100, and on Wii, the guitar was fully powered by your Wii remote. Now listen, I'm not gonna try and act like I know how this stuff works. I am gonna try and act like I know how to bitch about it. Shouldn't this be cheaper to produce if the Wii remote's doing all the heavy lifting here?
True.
And the Xbox 360 guitar has to function on its own. This is siphoning all the wireless capabilities and power from the controller, on top of the game itself being less expensive on its own. But hey, at this point, you might as well go all in on the full-blown bundle with the microphone and drum set at $190. I mean, it nearly doubled the price of the guitar kit. I can't in good conscience.
It did sell though. People bought it. People still bought it. Back in the mid-2000s, Guitar Hero was fucking massive. And so was Rock Band.
Let's do this. But at the same time, the drums are much bigger, more complicated. Sure, I don't think this is a good deal, but I mean, look how huge this box is. Can't say the price shocks me. However,
I wish if I had the money, I'd love to get hold of a Rock Band kit, like everything, and just me and my wife like this. My wife's actually a pretty okay singer. She can do the singing, and I'll just be like, slow ride, oh god, my vision went really fucking blurry then. Oh, there we go. Right, got my vision back. Fucking hell. Happens to my eyes sometimes. If I close my eyes too quick, and when I open them, my vision goes blurry.
1 year later, here's Band Hero with all the same junk included for $200. But see, those bastards across the street at Rock Band, they got us covered. The Beatles Rock Band Value Edition. $160 for everything. They're just using the controllers from Rock Band 1 instead of the...
I thought I recognised you. I'm trying to listen to the music here. That's Journey to Silius. Stage 1. That's one of my favourite 8-bit tunes actually in a video game. That game's fucking rock hard though.
The special Beatles ones, which cost... money? Well, that's nice of them, offering a more affordable version that's functionally the exact same as the one costing an arm and a leg. Damn, that's what arms and legs are going for these days. But at this point in time, you could nab the full Rock Band 2 bundle for 100 bones. Then pick up Beatles Rock Band separately for 60, so you'd get everything the Value Edition gives you, plus Rock Band 2, for the same price. Hell, if you'd want to go even cheaper, the Wii version of Beatles Rock Band was priced the same as any other Wii game.
What the?
Why was this game $60 on Wii? I thought standalone Wii games with no extra garbage included were $50 at most. No exceptions. I guess anything goes when you're pumping out a dozen variants of the same goddamn game in 1 year.
It's because they had to pay for the Beatles license. They're trying to recoup some costs because the Beatles license is not fucking cheap.
These accessory games, man, acting like they can do whatever they want. And that might be true for a bit, especially when they're bringing a fresh, exciting idea to the table. But over time, fatigue sets in. These concepts are no longer as novel as they once were. And when prices rise like this, it becomes harder to justify, especially when numerous companies were passing out deals back then. So many controller bundles, accessories included at no additional cost. It's like you were being rewarded for buying into this.
Free game when you buy a 4GB 360, you get either Madden or Medal of Honor. Well, probably pick Medal of Honor. Cause if that happened in the UK, it would be like 160. You'll get an Xbox 360. You'll get Medal of Honor or FIFA.
Crap! My grandfather got a Purple Heart. I got the Wii Play Wii Remote bundle for $50. Oh my god, at all the great prices for digital software at the time, look at this. 6 to 10 bones for PlayStation 1 games on the PS3 store. What a steal! Some of the greatest games of all time, dense with hundreds of hours of content in some cases. Same goes for all the stone cold classics on the Wii Shop channel. I mean, NES games were all only $5 a pop.
Bing. Oh.
Put a dollar amount on me, please. I gotta know
Oh. So I just took my headphones out and then, oh, that was it. That was it in my ears.
if I'm better than this.
Hey, I appreciate that Nintendo was consistent with prices. Might have been a little too consistent. Well, actually, some games were more expensive if they were never released in your country. What, there's an import tax on a digital file? If anything, they should charge less. They don't even translate anything. Okay, well, what about old games over on the Xbox 360's digital store? Well, Microsoft ran a
It was around, I think, if I remember correctly, it was around 1,200 Microsoft points. It was about £8.
service called Game Room, a virtual arcade where you could buy tons of classic games for $3 a pop. Man, that's the cheapest yet. Check this out. I paid $3 for Activision's legendary Venetian Blinds.
Oh, was that really a game?
Put a dollar amount on me, please.
The landscape of digital storefronts must have been a tricky thing to figure out. I mean, what do you price digital content at? In those early years, smaller, digital-only titles and classic games were the only things really on offer, and generally, these would be $5 to $15. Or whatever the hell Microsoft points are. Yeah, I don't know why this was done on Xbox 360, Wii, Nintendo DSi, using a point system in place of actual currency. Could I launder with this? At least Nintendo's USD to Wii point conversion made sense. Microsoft points? Is this math even English? But hey, Microsoft deserves some credit because they pushed the boundaries of digital storefronts and began offering full retail Xbox 360 games as downloadable releases. Games on demand.
Oh, I remember that. The dashboard. Still not the greatest one though. Sorry. The best 360 dashboard was for me 100% without a fucking shadow of a doubt the original Blades. Come at me.
What an incredible idea, especially since you no longer have to manufacture a physical product, ship it off to retailers who then get a cut of the profit.
Right, you're wondering why I probably paused on board on Bioshock. So, on Saturday, so yeah, I'm advertising. On Saturday, I announced that I'm starting 3 brand new Let's Plays on my gaming channel at the end of October. And you're probably going to guess what I'm going to say. One of them's Bioshock. I'm going through Bioshock again. The PC version, the remaster. That, I think, the first episode of that actually does. I think the first episode of that, episode 1, is on Halloween, October 31st. So, I've actually just worked it out in my head. I was right, yeah, it's 31st of October, it's Halloween. That goes live. So, do check that out, guys. It's in the description below, at Guenter Plays. Please do hit the subscribe button.
Well, I'd assume the price point here should be the exact goddamn same, if not more expensive than buying these games at GameStop. Well, aren't I not disappointed? This initiated the age-old question. Shouldn't digital games be cheaper? I mean, sure, these days you see a ton of digital sales going on, but when they ain't, games are often just flat out MSRP. And this was even worse back in the day. Sales weren't as common, and the 360 games available on demand were usually older releases that you could pick up for dirt cheap physically, but on the digital store, they were like $30. I remember PlayStation Vita games were generally quite a bit less expensive digitally, but for the most part, that was an anomaly. It seems that most don't want to lessen the value of their game just because it's digital. I mean, to these companies, there's functionally no difference between these two products other than this one costs you more to produce, so theoretically, you could raise the price of this, but then the retailers you're selling it at are gonna be pissed you're driving customers away from them, and you can't just tell them to go themselves because where the hell else are you gonna buy your game console? And if the standard with digital games was for them to be, say, $10 cheaper, well then that is the actual value of your product right there. And that looks fucking nasty! You ever see when new games are priced lower than usual? The response generally isn't, oh boy, what a deal!
It's normally, alright, the game's not very good then. I was excited when when they announced Mafia the Old Country. I haven't played it yet. I want to play it, but I've heard the PC version's very clunky. I've heard the reviews have not been that great, and I'm like, ugh.
Wait, what's wrong with it? Sega priced all major Sonic releases for a few years there at $39.99, starting with Sonic Forces.
Now, you cannot possibly sell genuine dog shit for $60, especially when the market value is $40.
Sega did this due to the Sonic franchise being a bit down in the dumps at the time.
Yeah.
So how else do you get people back in your corner? Well, sell them mediocre products priced accordingly. Oh, well, as long as it's not charging me $60, you can...
No, the problem is Sonic Forces is absolute garbage. So, as a Sonic fan, I do not like Sonic Forces. Team Sonic, I own Sonic. Do you know how long I waited before I bought Sonic Forces? I didn't get Sonic Forces until 4.5 years after release, and it was on sale for £7. That's how much I paid for Forces. Team Sonic Racing, I waited for 19, and as for Sonic Colors, I don't even own the Ultimate version yet. Because I own it on Wii. When Colours goes below 15, I'll probably pick it up, but I already own. But as for the other two, Sonic Superstars I've now got. I now own Superstars, and I own Origins, and I paid about £10 a piece.
Do whatever you want to me, Sega. Well, eventually, with the release of Sonic Frontiers, they swapped things over to $60 to showcase how Sonic games were high-quality, AAA experiences worthy of the investment. And Sonic Superstars released a year later and was 5 hours long.
Could have been worse.
And I don't think it's fair all the time to judge a game's price by how long it takes to complete the main
Aqua Ruin.
story. Like, there's so much else you need to consider here.
Oh, that boss was a bastard.
The economy? That piece of shit. He's making my Sonic games suck. I mean, look back at the 90s when everything was more affordable.
Now, the reason why Sonic Superstars stuck is because the developer of it wasn't a very good developer. I can't remember. Is it Artisan? They were called. Yeah, they've never made it. They're the same developers as fucking Balan Wonderland. Is it Balan Wonderland? I think that's it. That game's fucking garbage.
Affordable.
I thought that was Megan Fox then, for a second.
Sonic and Knuckles on the Sega Genesis for $60. Okay, but hey, Sonic and Knuckles is a special cartridge. One that locks onto Sonic 3, which released earlier that same year for $60. Yeah, these games separately are each one half of the intended Sonic the Hedgehog 3 experience. Sonic 3 on its own had like half the levels that Sonic 2 did because they were forced to put the game out early and finish it later. Yet
that's 100% true, and it was because of McDonald's Happy Meals. That is 100% correct and 100% true. As a Sonic fan, I know my Sonic history. I know quite a bit of my Sonic history. That is 100% true. Yeah, it's because the reason why Sonic 3 and Sonic Remix was split up was because of McDonald's Happy Meals.
these were still each sold at...
It was because Sega signed a contract, and the contract stated that a Sonic game had to be released by the end of March. That's where Sonic 3 was rushed out. That's where that was released in February, and then Sonic and Knuckles was released in October.
Full price. Well, actually, full price back in the 90s would be, what, $70, $80, $90, $100? Argument here is, well, these were cartridges. They had to manufacture more with them, oftentimes including dedicated chips to bring you more innovative graphical effects, larger, longer experiences.
That game that's just been on screen there, that's Phantasy Star 4, by the way.
Once they moved over to CDs, those were cheaper to mass produce, so these cartridges had actual excuses to be so expensive. I mean, look at Mickey Mania on SNES and Genesis compared to Sega CD.
Fuck you, Mickey Mania.
Where were you at the boycott?
To be fair, on average, games on CDs were less expensive than cartridges, but the difference in price isn't that drastic. We're talking $5 to $10 off, or hell, sometimes there's no price difference. But hey, if cartridges cost this much, I'd take any discount I could get. Now, keep in mind, games like Phantasy Star 4, Shining Force 2, Final Fantasy 3, these were some of the biggest gaming experiences at the time of their release. You couldn't really get a Meteor package in 1994 if you tried, so
Do you know what? For a 1994 JRPG, that's a really fucking good game, by the way.
Your price points make sense. But do highest price points make sense? And let's not forget about inflation. Listen, I'm not gonna act like I understand much economically, but I can do a mean Googling of inflation. Inflation is a funny little bugger because many use it to instantly prove, well, actually, as you can see, we're getting bargains these days. They were selling games for $200 in today's cash. Yeah, that's true, but man, $70 is still an awful lot of money for a piece of entertainment these days. Just because this was the value of $1 back then doesn't mean it entirely makes sense for games to be that price now. They were figuring junk out in the 90s. Video games were still a fairly new technology, and eventually this general price point was considered the standard, what people are willing to pay. Increasing it raises questions. It's the same thing for all these other entertainment mediums. The Back to the Future trilogy on VHS was $56 back in '93. That's $125 these days. What, you think 3 movies on Blu-ray is worth that much? My point is, nobody would genuinely look at a $200 game and say, well, the value of $1 is ever changing, so this is the natural price point of a video game.
Yeah, Crossworlds is like, here in the UK, Crossworlds is $64.99. Here.
In the current year. I can't claim to fully understand how much was too much back in the 90s, but I can claim to have heard a bunch of 40-year-olds yap about it. It seems that while everybody knew games were piss expensive back then,
Why is this expensive?
it was more accepted than it is today because well, everything felt a bit more justified. I mean, even if they were overcharging for Phantasy Star 4, you can bring up a bunch of reasons why it was so expensive.
Yeah. It required a large cartridge to contain everything. Yeah, I believe that's what it was. I believe that's what it was.
Mario Galaxy 1+2 on Switch being $70? There's no reason for that other than Nintendo just valuing those experiences at that price. And as time goes on, we're seeing less and less actual deals because well, these companies don't have as much to prove anymore. Video games are now the leading form of entertainment. This is where people spend most of their money to have a good time. So an extra controller, that used to be something you had to be convinced to buy via bundles. Now, they're like, we know you're gonna buy this eventually. We don't need to give you nothing. Boom! $90 just to get greatest hits, platinum hits, player's choice releases of some of the best
They used to be 19, yeah, it used to be $19.99.
games at reduced prices, normally $20 a pop. Now, nobody wants to undervalue their franchises. They don't want to put their games on sale unless they absolutely have to because everybody wants their content to be seen as the best of the best.
Yeah, you got Stellar Blade there for $70. When it came out on CD keys in the UK, I paid, like I said at the start of the video, I paid $42.99 for it. That's the only game where I've actually spent more than $40, like I said at the start of the video.
Cheap is seen as bad. The Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered is getting released at $50? Well, now we gotta take the $20 PS4 version on digital stores and double it to $40 because we need to maintain consistent brand value. And listen, I can't believe I'm mourning the lack of player's choice. I don't like the man I've become, and that's what money does to you. But as piss ugly as this is,
Why is this ugly?
you can definitely suck it up when you see the price. 20 bones for some of the best games on their respective platforms. Absolutely incredible.
The only time you can probably get games like that, like $20 game, oh fucking hell, Kirby's Air Ride. See that Kirby's Air Ride for $20? Here in the UK, that goes for 90. Let me just double check that quick. Kirby Air Ride CX. Oh! It's not 90. $170. If you've got a Kirby's Air Ride, that's with no manual. That's just game. That's just box game, no manual. $170. You get 95 cash for it. It's fucking mental.
But I guess games at that low price just aren't possible these days. Oh. So these guys are just assholes then.
Yeah.
Listen, video games have always been some of the pricier forms of entertainment, and we can find an endless supply of stupid-ass price points throughout history to point at and go, see? Things have always sucked! But I think a big difference between rising prices then and now is how enough never feels like enough anymore. Prices of games aren't just high, now we're begging you to pay for the DLC, microtransactions, a subscription to play online multiplayer, subscriptions for the game itself, subscriptions in the game itself, the deluxe edition, the special edition console, which is more expensive than the standard one and doesn't include the game, extra accessories, the previous game in the series, which is still full price, the collector's edition, which doesn't include a physical copy of the game. Comes with a case for it, though. And, oh, wait, you're not buying into all this? Oh, Jesus Christ, it must be those damn developers of ours! Very rarely do I see something I consider a good deal these days. Something's either at a price point I deem fair enough, or it's absolutely overpriced. Now, I still buy a lot of stuff I think is overpriced because I have no shame. But when I'm willing to do that sometimes, it becomes harder and harder to justify as the value just isn't there with a lot of these high prices. Back then, when a game was up there in price, there was more often than not an excuse for it.
Yeah, he's right. Scott's 100% right here. Yeah, he's right. They always have an excuse for why the game's, like the Fantasy Star. Oh, it's the biggest game, the cartridge is really big. It's 24 meg. But, yeah.
Now, their excuse is that they want more money. And that just doesn't bode well for this parasocial relationship I've been working my ass off on. Well, as much as I can complain about how expensive modern gaming has become, let's take one last look at gaming prices throughout the years, as everybody mourns differently.
Games for the Neo Geo AES were generally $199 a piece. Same price as a Super Nintendo. Here's the thing. These games were considered arcade perfect, which was everything you could possibly ask for back then. The arcade was where you saw the...
Yeah, he's right. Basically, Neo Geo games were 200 pop because they used actual hardware. The console was like $600-700. It was so expensive, but they were arcade perfect. Yeah, you're basically buying an actual arcade board.
Latest and greatest in graphics. Then you'd go, well, damn, I gotta get this for my home console.
Fair play, they're trying to put Double Dragon in the Atari, though.
I'm never saying words again. Neo, I lied.
Geo, by comparison, gave you the same experience as the arcades, and thus was considered a luxury product. This wasn't really seriously competing with Nintendo and Sega because it was for a completely different market. Serious players only. You gotta be a die-hard enthusiast to get anything out of these games at this price, because for most consumers, you can pick up the Super Nintendo or Genesis versions of these things at a fraction the cost that, while downgraded, were more or less pretty faithful ports. Also, the Neo Geo AES itself was priced like this.
Bang. What did I say? 600. It was dead. It was the second most expensive console ever released behind the... God, what was it? What was 700? Was it 3DO, wasn't it? I think the 3DO was 700.
Hey, it's 1991. I can afford a Neo Geo AES and Neo Geo AES games. My name is Jesus Christ.
But hey, even if you didn't have a Neo Geo, you still had opportunities to buy games at the price points of full-blown consoles, like Virtual Racing on the Sega Genesis, costing $100.
It was because of the chip in the cartridge.
I mean, look at the original arcade game, released back in 1992. It would take a satanic ritual to get this to run on a Genesis.
Welcome to hell.
Okay, well, Virtual Racing definitely couldn't run on this hardware without some finagling. Yeah, that's what was done here. Hence, why this cartridge is probably more complex than a microwave. But that complexity came at a steep price for a game you could get on more power.
That was it. I was trying to figure out what the name of the chip was. It's on there, the SVP chip.
Powerful platforms at such a lower price. Strange how things have sort of swapped around, where a game on lesser hardware is generally not as expensive, but back then, you know how many men had to die to get this on a Genesis cartridge? Well, game development and publishing is a different beast now. Not everything is as difficult or simple as it was back in the 90s, like adding new content and tweaks to an existing package. Nowadays, you can push out a free update or not. But back then, well, we already see what they did with Sonic 3 and Sonic & Knuckles. But take a look at the whole suite of Street Fighter 2 releases. Nearly $80 for the initial SNES port. A year later, you get Street Fighter 2 Turbo for $74. Oh boy, a discount. A month later, Special Champion Edition on Genesis, also for $74, followed by Super Street Fighter 2 that next summer for $70. And guess what? Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo was already out in the arcades by the time these ports released. And for the home version of that, you'd have to pick up a Panasonic 3DO, which launched at the price of, what the
Boom, 700. Got it. Yeah. Yeah, the 3DO was the most expensive games console. By a mile. The reason why it was so expensive is because of the licensing. You have to license the 3DO license to buy it. That's why you had like LG had their own version, Panasonic had their own version. Who else? I think Samsung made their own version as well. So basically, you have to pay for the license. That's why it's so expensive.
That's a number? Now, to be fair, a lot of these crazy prices back then were definitely special cases.
By the way, those two games there, Dark Man and Daydreaming Davy, I'm pretty sure AVGN's reviewed them.
New games often hovered around $50 to $60 ever since the NES era, and as the years have gone by, with lower cost discs becoming the standard medium for video games,
oh, the nostalgia. What a system.
This variable pricing began to
Oh, more nostalgia. 180 for the game for the PS2. Right now, here in the UK, to get a PS2 now, it's around 80 to 90 pounds nowadays. Yeah, I bought a silver fat PS2 6 years ago for 27 pounds. They're now about 80 to 100 now.
Fade away, which made it that much harder for gamers to accept it later on. Resident Evil Revelations was originally announced to
Don't start your day with a gross piece of plastic in your hand. Adding to the for
$49.99 on the Nintendo 3DS, when the standard price of games there was $39.99.
Oh, so that's why this mob's been outside for the past 14 years.
You read comments on the message boards back then, people were livid, saying Capcom completely f***ed up on this one right here. It didn't matter that $50 was still less than most home console games were going for. Didn't matter that they had to use a 4GB cartridge for the game, which raised costs. Didn't matter that this was a full-fledged AAA Resident Evil game and the most graphically impressive
Then about 3-4 years later, they re-released it and upscaled it and put it on the fucking main consoles. Yeah.
on the 3DS. The fact of the matter is, it's $50, and handheld games can't be $50. Listen, in my opinion, this was a situation where the higher price, to me, felt justified. I'm not saying anybody should have been thrilled to buy it, but considering everything this game was, I personally thought, fair enough to this. But see, Capcom took the complaints to heart and spent months working out a deal to bring the price down $10 before its launch. And people still bitched! My god, you look at how people were talking back then, and it's like the same thing these days, but this at least seems reasonable compared to this. But what, it's just life at this point? Are we gonna look back at March?
Because the internet's just full of fucking moaners and complainers who are never fucking happy, who probably sit in their mum's basement eating fucking Doritos all fucking day, doesn't have a job, going, I don't want that!
Hardcore world in 10 years and go, oh, we had it so good. We bitch about prices being high compared to what they were, which we're still bitched about. But when there are loads of people willing to pay $100 to get 4 days early access to Forza Horizon 5 on PS5, I guess you can just price your games at whatever the early access? The game is 4 years old!
The prices that most video games are at isn't necessarily a representation of their actual value. It's the highest price point they think they can get away with.
Why is he playing the music from Nintendogs in the background? That's what I can hear. I can hear Nintendogs music.
But even though these companies set the prices, it's up to you at the end of the day to decide if they're worth it or not. Now, you can't control what other people buy or if they think a price is worth it or not. But who the hell cares? Your opinion is worth its weight in gold. That's the only thing that matters here. If you thought Resident Evil Revelations was a sham at $50, I can disagree, but I can't say you're wrong. You decide if this game is worth its price point, not the company. Hell, you can decide if it's free or not depending on how far you're willing to go.
Yeah. like I said at the start of the video, when it comes to games, I'm quite picky with my games. I don't like spending too much on games. Like I said, I'm a right tight-fisted fucker. I am. So that was a fucking incredible video there by the Wozer, and I've gone nearly a fucking hour on this video. So you can let me know, guys, in the comments below. What's your opinion on game prices? What should be the standard? Should there be a standard pricing on everything? I said when I grew up in my teenage years, it was $39.99 for a full price game and $19.99. However, the local game shop near me at the time used to sell the games at $37.99, so they used to be £2 cheaper. So, anyway, guys, that'll be it. Have I still got the is that red? Here we go. Just leave it like that. I'll do. So yeah, let me know, guys, if you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe if you are new. Originally, I was going to go back to do Just Bad Games Steel Harbinger, which was supposed to have been today, but like I said, because of this video, I've pushed it, so that's going to be on Saturday. Let me know, guys, if you had a good day or not. Let me know in the comments below. Also, you may realise if you watch my, if you're a fan of this channel, starting from my last Twitch stream, I'm actually now going to be putting my streaming on here, on my main reactions channel. So if you want to come in, you can. If you come on my reactions channel when I stream, you can talk to me. What happens is at the end of the stream, that stream will be removed and moved over to my gaming channel at Guenter Plays. It's going to be uploaded on a later date. Be like a couple of days after it happened. So, for example, tomorrow's stream, which I'm streaming tomorrow, by the way. That's what I just said. The stream that I did on Wednesday will be uploaded after Friday's stream onto my gaming channel. If you know what I mean, that's how I'm doing it. So, anyway, guys, that'll be it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, like I said, usual good stuff. Please hit the subscribe button, guys. Let's try and get this channel up and going again. And I'll see you on Friday for Steel Harbinger Re-Res. I'll see you in a bit. Peace out. Have a good night, guys. Bye-bye.